We got Sijara Eubanks back here on the program. Who's going to be rematching Aspen Ladd at UFC Rochester on May 18th. So, Sarge, how are you?
I'm fantastic, man. I'm happy to be back on.
Yeah, and it's good to talk to you again. It's been a bit since we've seen you in the cage. We saw you last fight in November, and I know that was supposed to be you're supposed to fight Jessica Eye at UFC 232. Did you want this much time off, or were you trying to get a time, fight in between there?
I definitely was supposed to fight Jessica I. Then it was supposed to be Valentina. Then I got Roxanne. Yeah,
Right. Yeah, yeah, that's true. I left that part out. That was kind of important.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, exactly.
No, I hate taking this much time off. I really do. For the most part, I come out of my fights pretty healthy, and if I could, I'd fight more often. But it is what it is. So I'm averaging like 6 months between fights here in the UFC. But my career is still young, so hopefully, after this next one, we can pick up the steam a little bit more as far as the frequency.
Well, you're coming off a great win. I know it wasn't Valentina, but it was Roxanne Modafferi who, just came off a big win herself. I know you didn't get a finish, but you must have been pretty happy with that performance, getting the win there.
Yeah, absolutely. I thought I did pretty good. I was happy with everything that we were able to execute. I was able to hit a lot of the stuff that we were working on for that short camp. But yeah, I'm always happy with a W. You can never be mad at that.
So this fight's a bantamweight, and I know that's kind of been something that's been, kind of talked about throughout your career, is the weight cut and all that. Whose decision was that? Was that the UFC's, or did you decide, you know what, enough's enough, let's do a bantamweight?
Yeah, that was all me. That was all me. It was definitely my decision. It took a lot of some personal time after the Roxanne fight. I took some time to myself and really wanted to do what was right for me, what was right for my career, and what felt best in my heart to do. And I just was tired of almost killing myself every couple of months. So, it is what it is. I felt like I needed, and then I also did some consultation. I talked with a lot of guys out at the PI and a couple of other nutritionists here back home in Jersey. I think I just needed more time to get to that flyweight division to recompose my body. And I already was, 6 months between fights is a long time, but it's still realistically for the type of muscle mass I carry, I probably need like 9 to 12 to get to flyweight. And I just was like, nah, I don't want to take that much time off. And I knew I was gonna have to prove to the UFC all over again that I could make that flyweight cut. So I just thought it would be better if I was happier and healthier, and I felt like I could be more aggressive at 135. So I made the decision with the blessing of everybody at the UFC to go up.
Good for you. Well, that's good you recognize that, because I'm sure, like how has this camp been in terms of, not having to worry about the cut, not having to worry about the, the scrutiny from people about, oh, is she going to make weight and all that? I mean, you must be so laser focused on this fight now.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I mean, honestly, everything happens for a reason. Everything was lined up how it's supposed to line up. But yeah, I've had so much fun this camp. I was able to be an athlete. Like at flyweight. I worked with Clint really closely. He told me, he's like, you're gonna have to train like a cross country runner, and that's not fun. I wanted to do more athletic types of stuff. I'm able to do more strength and conditioning. I'm able to eat more protein, more carbs. I'm able to have a little bit more fun, and there's that whole stress relief of not just the public scrutiny of is she gonna make the weight, but just at home, like being able to feel like an athlete again, and that's what I'm here to do. I'm here to have fun. MMA is fun, fighting is what gives me passion, and I love nutrition and all, but I wanted a little break from the stress of monitoring every single bite of food that went into my mouth.
Yeah, no kidding. No, that's good, and I'm glad to hear the key word in there is fun. I mean, I think that's awesome that you're really having that approach to this camp. So this fight with Aspen Ladd, again, it is a rematch. You guys fought January 2017 in Invicta FC 21. Did you want this fight? Did Aspen want this fight? How did this come together? Because she also had a fight that fell through, a high profile one like yourself, against Holly Holm back in March.
Yeah, yeah, everything happens for a reason. After I lost to Aspen 2 years ago, I was like, yeah, I want that one back somewhere down the line. Um, as a fighter, you kind of got to move on. There's no you can't really dwell on losses. So I remember right after thinking yeah, I hope I get that one back one day. But just moving on, I ended up going into the Ultimate Fighter after that. So it is what it is. So when I first announced that I was going up to 135, I wasn't sure what the UFC was going to do with me. I didn't know if they were going to make me start from scratch from the bottom of the bantamweight division, or if they were going to give me someone tough. I didn't know what was going to happen. And it was kind of just crickets for a long time. I kind of didn't hear anything. And then poof, out of nowhere, my manager was like, "You fought Aspen before?" I was like, "Yeah." And then I was like, "Hmm." And then it got quiet again for another week or two. He was like, "You got Aspen." I was like, "Hell yeah, let's do it." I think it's the absolute most perfect fight for me to come back to 135. I think it's she was my last fight at 35. She was my last loss. And she's climbing this bantamweight division pretty quickly. So I'm really excited to get in there and prove that this is where I belong. And I think beating Aspen kind of checks a couple of different boxes at once.
We've seen your improvement since that fight. We saw it in the Ultimate Fighter. We've seen it in your UFC career. Where do you feel like you've improved the most? Is it one specific area, or do you feel like overall you've just become a better fighter?
Definitely overall better fighter. Overall better athlete, better fighter, better knowledge of the game. Way better striker. Like way better striker. And my grappling's improved as well. I've always had a really solid grappling background, but just as far as my wrestling and just overall jujitsu's improved. I mean, everybody improves between fights, but a lot's changed since the last time I fought Aspen. I'm with a new team here. I'm with Mark Henry and Jamal Patterson in New Jersey, Ricardo Almeida in the Catone. I'm training with guys like Frankie Edgar, Corey Anderson, Eddie Alvarez, Caitlin. It's night and day. So I'm really looking forward to showing the improvement that I've made over the last 2 years. A lot of people, like you said, have seen my improvement in the Ultimate Fighter, but this will definitely show from Aspen to Aspen, those 2 years in between. I think I'm really excited to show the drastic changes I've made.
Do you watch tape, and if so, where do you feel like she's improved since you last fought?
Mark Henry's huge on tape. I'm not that great at watching film. I don't really like
Okay,
to.
I like the honesty though. That's good. That's good.
Yeah, yeah. I will watch my fights sometimes, but I don't really like to watch opponent film too much. So I let Mark do the intensive film study and just tell me what he wants me to work on. But I have seen her fights for sure. I know she fought when she made her debut. She won. I forgot the name of the girl she fought, and then I saw beat Tanya Evinger. So I'm pretty sure she's made some improvements, obviously, but no, I don't watch too much film. I remember watching those fights live, but I don't think I've gone back and watched them too much.
You talked a little bit about your training partners there and everything like that. I know Deanna Bennett is someone that you've trained with as well, and I wanted to ask, as a Canadian, because I know she's really big into hockey. Has that translated to you as well? Have you become a bit of a hockey fan or no?
I can't say I'm a hockey fan, but I did go with her to a hockey game when we first got to Jersey. She's a San Jose Sharks fan, and hockey is really fun. Like, it's a fun sport to go and watch live. I mean, it's like you watch it on TV and it's like, what? I can't even see the thing flying around. But live, like in the arena, it's super high paced sport. Like these huge 200-pound guys are flying. And it's fun. Of course, they push each other and they get real violent. So I'm all for that. I have enjoyed it though. I definitely would go back to another hockey game. And I think the Sharks are in the playoffs.
Yeah, they are. They're still doing well. They beat Las Vegas, so they're in the second round now.
All right, Dan will be proud of me to know that I even know.
There
that.
you go. Yeah, I'm impressed too. I think that's pretty good. So that's
yeah. So yeah, I think it's cool. I can't say I'm a hockey fan though. I don't want to.
No. Well, again, see the honesty here. I like all this because you're not saying like, yeah, I'm a fan, and then if I asked you something, you would have been screwed, right?
No. You asked me.
No, you're good. Yeah. No, I like it. So back to the cut. I imagine that's going well. Like, just again, like you said, you're having fun. Everything's good. But I imagine making 135 won't be an issue at all.
No. We're cruising. I'm already like what? It's just more than 2 weeks, and I'm 12 pounds out. Like.
Oh, awesome. Okay, great.
Yeah. I've been which I probably I'm probably somewhere. My manager's probably like, stop telling people what you weigh. But I'm pumped about it, man. I'm already, the number of pounds I have to lose now is much less. And I mean, I was coming into some of those flyweight cuts at like 15 to 18 pounds the week of. So we're closer than that already. So I feel good.
Who's going to be in your corner for this fight?
I got Mark Henry, Jamal Patterson, and my wrestling coach, Colin.
Excellent. Okay. And how do you see this fight playing out on the 18th?
Winning, baby. Winning. Yeah, I'm really looking for an aggressive fight. I'm obviously looking to finish the fight. I'm always looking to finish the fight. It's what I do. I like to come forward. I like to put the hands on them. I like to wrestle. I like to mix the game up. So, but yeah, I'm looking to win on May 18th, and that's what's most important.
This fight's in Rochester. Are you expecting a good turnout here in your adopted home now in New Jersey?
Yeah, I hope so. I got family coming from Massachusetts. I got family coming from Maryland. A couple people coming up from New Jersey, New York. When it was first New York, everyone's like, yeah, we're coming. And you're like, then you Google Rochester. It's like a 7-hour drive.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, so maybe not as many as turned out for Madison Square Garden. But, I love fighting on the East Coast. So I'm pretty sure you'll be able to hear some Sarge fans out there on the 18th.
That's great. And where do you feel like a win would put you? Because Aspen's undefeated, and again, she's had a bit of hype. She's supposed to fight Holly. I imagine that's going to probably put you right up there, I would think.
Oh yeah, right at the top, right at the top. I'm pretty sure. I'm confident that beating Aspen, I should definitely take her spot for sure. I should definitely be top 5 after this one, but we'll see where I get placed and what the next move is. But it's definitely a good win for this division for sure.
Last question before I let you go. What's downtime looking like during camp right now? Are you getting in any TV shows? Are you getting any like movies, anything like that? What are you doing as far as downtime?
My birthday was last weekend on the 27th.
Oh,
So
awesome. Happy
yeah,
belated.
thank you. So so what I did for my birthday on Sunday night, I did a full binge. I went and I watched Avengers, and then I turned around and stayed up till 1 o'clock in the morning watching that latest episodes of Game of Thrones. And it was the best. It was the best, honestly. I'm a I love watching Game of Thrones. I've been watching it since the first season. So and the season finale is the Sunday after the fight, which I'm pretty sure my coach is somewhere like that's irrelevant, but
That's good that you
I'm
got your
like, we
priorities
are
straight. I
leaving
like
on
that.
Sunday morning. We are out of here because we have to get back. No, so yeah, I've been watching a lot of Game of Thrones. A show I started watching kind of the other night in between fights was and this is for my people for all my gay prides. I've been watching Gentleman Jack on HBO, and I think I love this show. It's like this
What's it
English
about?
humor.
I love HBO shows. I've never heard of this one. What's it
So
about?
it's about it's based on the diaries of Anne Lister, who was like this English traveler and came from like a wealthy English family in like the 1800s or something. And she was just like first ever, basically not first ever lesbian, but she was a lesbian in a time where it was like super frowned upon, and she dressed like a man for the time. And then her dad was super old and couldn't collect his rents, and so it's about her just being like a super boss ass female, like talking smack to these guys, like, I'm selling my coal for top dollar, I'm not going to take any less because I'm a female, I'm going to marry a woman and I don't care because I'm a female. And she's like super particular and super like bossy and super like, I ain't gonna take no shit from nobody. And I kind of love it. She's like, it's only like the second episode that's out right now, so I can't even binge on it. I have to like wait every week for a new
Which
episode.
is the worst because like
Yeah,
that's why it's sometimes good to get into shows later. Then you can watch it at your
yeah,
own
yeah.
pace,
So
right?
I
And you have
kind of
something to
just
look forward
stumbled.
to.
Exactly. I kind of stumbled upon it because I was already on HBO Go looking for something. I was like, what's this? And I started playing it. I was like, what? This is like a lesbian's dream. I love this. So I don't know. I don't know if I like it because I can relate to it, but I love that show, man. Yeah.
Yeah. And then kind of, I want to end things there actually. What has been the response from the LBGT community, just since you've been in the UFC? Because, you're someone that, I think has been, sort of a great ambassador and you've been very open about it. What's the feedback been like?
Feedback's been cool. I get a lot of people saying, "Hey, you know what up?" I get a couple of flags dropped on my comments and stuff. UFC last year invited me out, me and Tisha Torres, and Nina Ansaroff. They invited us all out to the New York Gay Pride Parade. We got to walk in the parade last summer, so that was cool. But it's like the response has just been cool. I haven't had any flack for it. Every once in a while, I'll comment. You know how trolls are. Trolls give you a
Of
hard
course.
time.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, don't even get me started on that.
Block
Yeah.
them, keep them going. But no, I get a lot of positive feedback. It's been it's kind of strange to hear like, oh, you're an ambassador for the sport, because to me it's like, oh man, gay chick's been in MMA since forever, right? So it's
Well,
like,
it's cool though because you're a woman of color, and then also
yeah,
obviously as well too. So I imagine that's sort of a unique position to hold in the UFC because we don't there's not a lot of women of color who are also gay as well.
yeah, hit the trifecta:
There you
female, gay, black.
go.
I got all the minorities checked, yo. I'm like the ultimate minority flag. I love it. So nah, yeah, it's been cool. It is cool to be able to represent for the people. I always say for the people, because I'm from a small town in Massachusetts, to be able to represent for people of color, brown and black people all over the world, to be able to represent for gay people and LGBTQ and plus and everybody like that. It's been fun to be able to be like, yeah, we can. I was lucky enough to not really have a hard time. I was able to come out without too much no feedback from my family or anything. I haven't really faced too much adversity for who I identify as, so I've been kind of lucky in that. But at the same time, it's cool to be able to come out and be like, yeah, man, I'm gay, black, female. What's up? Like, and not really think about it as a thing, and to be able
Just live
to,
your life. Yeah.
yeah. So it's been cool. It's been really cool to be able to do that.
And it's been a really cool interview as always, Sijara. I really appreciate the time. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you have any sponsors, shout outs, thank yous, whatever you got, the floor is yours. This is your Academy Awards speech right now.
Oh, awesome Academy Awards. I'd like to start with no.
Yeah.
No, for real. You can follow me across all platforms at Sarge in Charge, no INN, SARJ in Charge. On Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook. I'm most active on Instagram. I'm working on Twitter. So if you can follow me there, that'd be much appreciated. I get a lot of support from the local New Jersey family here. So I actually just hooked up with New Jersey Nutrition is always hooking me up with good supplements and a couple of things like that. And also always gotta thank my coaches, Mark Henry and Jamal Patterson. I'm giving a super shout out to my dad, because I never shout my dad out enough, and he's like really my number one sponsor. Maybe I do, but my dad is really truly the number one sponsor. Like whenever I need anything, my dad is there. So I like to thank my dad and my family, most importantly.